everything about traveling can be done by you yourself. You don't have to get an agent to help you travel. Most of the times, that agent is going to want to collect money from you. The fees for express entry, you alone, is 1,365, including your spouse. She also will pay 1,365. Odelu. Then lastly, including a dependent child of $230. Let's put the three together. How much is it? So the application plus your wife plus you plus plus one child, if it's only one child you have, is 2,338,000. If you don't have a child, you remove that. If you are single, it's cheaper, right? So all this rushing to travel is the reason why scammers are seeing you as business, because if everybody is in a hurry to travel abroad and all of that. I always advise that you have 1 year before you travel. Make sure you have at least 1 year ahead of you, so that you can plan your movements properly, learn properly, and then avoid scammers. I would advise that you subscribe to this channel. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, so that if I keep releasing content, you can always keep seeing it. Before anyone, by the time you hear anybody says this offer is up, just come to this channel. The chances are we will cover the truth or the lie in any of these things, so that you can be helped, so that you don't run into the hands of scammers. The purpose of this channel is to really demystify this ongoing thing about traveling abroad. If you're not in Nigeria, you probably would not understand what I'm about to say, but if you're a Nigerian, you would properly understand what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of unveiling to do when it comes to traveling out of the country, Nigeria, and that's the purpose of this channel, to make you understand what you're really doing when you're about to travel. A lot of things really go on around the traveling business. In Nigeria, it's a major business. A lot of people claim to be agents. A lot of people claim to know how to get you abroad. And honestly, some of them may be correct, some of them may not be correct. And so this video is about me trying to, demystify this for you, and make sure that you really understand what you are doing, so that next time if somebody tells you this is what they are doing, even if you're going to allow them to really help you, you at least have an idea what they are saying, and the terminologies and those things they say. So the purpose of this channel is to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, you understand these terminologies. We're going to do several of these videos, so that way you'll know line for line. If you really want to understand what traveling abroad is, what route you should take, this is a good channel for you. And we're not going to lie to you here. If something is possible, we're going to let you know. If something is not possible, we're going to let you know. In this particular video, we're focusing on Canada. And Canada is a very interesting place, and a lot of people have gone to Canada. And look, let me not deceive you, Canada is really, really open to several, to allowing several people come into the country. So if people tell you, oh, they travel to Canada, I can help you go to Canada, look, chances are they are correct. But listen to me first before you do that. If they say they are trying to help you travel abroad, what methods might you use to travel abroad? In this particular video, I will cover what you call the express entry. We're going to, really, really demystify what express entry is. How does express entry work? What are the requirements you need? And all of that. So that in case maybe an agent of yours is trying to do express entry for you, if he does not mention these things, he wants to run with your money. So that way you can avoid trouble. Quickly, first off, express entry, as it is written on their website, the website is canada.ca.en. I'll put the link of this website in the description below, so that you can know exactly what you're doing. Now, express entry, according to their website, express entry is an online system that we use to manage immigration applications for skilled workers. So therefore, express entry is essentially for skilled workers. Someone who is trying to make you go to Canada by express entry cannot be talking about study visa at the same time. So the study route is not the same thing as express entry. Now, express entry is broken down into 3 major pathways. 3 of them are as follows. the Canadian Express class, the Federal Skilled Worker program, and the Federal Skilled Trades program. Right? The Canadian Express class, the Federal Skilled Worker, and the Federal Skilled Trades program. For skilled workers who have Canadian, so under Canadian Express class, it says for skilled workers who have, this is the portion I'm reading now, for skilled workers who have Canadian work experience. So this Canadian Express class is for Canadians, is for skilled workers who have Canadian work experience. If you have lived in Canada, if you have worked in Canada before, if you have an experience working in Canada for at least 3 years, then the Canadian Experience class is for you. It is a Canadian experience, a Canada experience. If you have a Canada experience, then the Canadian Express class is for you. Now, it's not Canadian study experience. It is Canadian work experience. You have worked in Canada before. Now, the second part is work experience must have been gained in the 3 years before you apply. So if you're applying, for instance, in 2050, you should have experience of 2047 to 2050. You cannot bring experience of 2022. It is a long time ago, so you don't really understand what is working in the society. The second one is the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Under the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the criteria is as follows. It is for skilled workers with foreign work experience. So if you have worked in Nigeria, if you have worked in Botswana, if you have worked in the United States, if you have worked in Britain, if you have worked in Australia, Japan, or any of these countries, this is your route. The second one, you must meet the criteria for education and other factors. So when you can see that Canadian Experience class is not really talking about education and other factors. It's talking about your experience, and it must just be 3 years. For the Federal Skilled Worker Program, however, you must meet some criteria. Very, very key. The third one, Federal Skilled Workers who are qualified in a skilled trade. So if you have a skill trade, you are a seller, you are a business person, you have, it's for workers who have qualified in a skilled trade. Then number 2, you must have a valid job offer or a certificate of qualification. So under the express entry, we have 3. So this is a recap. Under the express entry, you have 3 possible pathways. Number 1 is Canadian Experience class. Number 2, Federal Skilled Worker Program. Number 3, Federal Skilled Trades Program. Now, if somebody is trying to prepare, an agent that is trying to prepare your method to go to Canada under express entry, if he is not talking about any of these 3, he wants to run away with your money. That's just it. How do you know a scammer or not? Ask them what they want to do for you. There's a lot of mystery shrouded in the travel business. A lot of mystery. And you will be shocked the amount of lies that people tell. You'll be shocked. People tell a lot of lies. Why they lie this much, I don't know. But because Nigeria is a very interesting place, there's a lot of shadiness that can really go on especially when you are desperate to travel. There's a lot of shadiness that can go on. And so you need to understand this. There are only 3 possible pathways under the express entry. 1, Canadian Experience class. 2, Federal Skilled Worker Program. 3, Federal Skilled Trades Program. You must ensure you ask your agent about this, or else if your money goes away, then you should not blame your agent. You are the one who refused to ask the important question. Right? Now, let's cover a broad array of things that pertain to how you can be eligible for any of the 3. After that, we'll now cover bits and pieces. We'll cover snippets of it. I'll also do other videos later that will break down each of these for you, so that you can know, okay, which one really fits into my pattern or fits into my plan or not. Right? So now let's move further down and let's look at, okay, what are the things that pertain to the 3, or this method called express entry, or this route called express entry. By the way, there are different methods of entry. There's visitation, there's a study route, and there's other methods of of traveling to Canada. But under express entry, these are the things you have to put into consideration. Now, it says if you are eligible for one of the above programs, you can also apply through express entry for the provincial nominee program. So now, if you are eligible for the above three, right, you can also apply through express entry for the provincial nominee. So now, provincial nominee is not the same thing as express entry. Provincial nominee is a different program entirely. But if you are eligible for one of the above programs, you can also apply for provincial nominee. We will cover provincial nominee program later in a separate video. But if you have any of these three, you can then go for provincial nominee. If you are nominated at the provincial nominee level, you'll get extra points so that you can be invited to apply quickly. Now, provincial nominee therefore suggests that if they can pick you, if a province can pick you to come to Canada, then Canada will be the one inviting you to come. In all of these three, however, if the chances are you will be the one who is applying. But if you are picked at the provincial nominee level program, then the chances are Canada will call you by themselves to come and apply. Now, that is better than any other route. Now, let's go forward. Now, it says now, find out if you are eligible. There are two ways to find out if you are eligible for a program that is part of express entry. Number one, answer a few questions to see if you meet minimum requirements. And then number two, read the detailed requirements for each program. So then let's move forward. Check your score. If you are eligible for one or more of the express entry program and submit your profile, you'll be ranked in the express entry pool using the comprehensive ranking system. Now, if you are eligible for one of these three programs up here, you can now submit your profile. You cannot be allowed to submit your profile if somehow you are not eligible for any of these three. How do you know if you're eligible? This is step one, right? This is step one. All right. Now, you'll be ranked in the express entry pool using the comprehensive ranking system. So, if you are eligible and you get your profile submitted into the pool, there's a software that Canada uses. It's called the comprehensive ranking system. It is that software that will rank you based on how you fall. The CRS, which is the comprehensive ranking system, is a point-based system we use to assess and score your profile and rank it in the express entry pool. So this is like this. It's just like raffle draw. By the time you submit your profile, this is my IELTS, this is my work experience, this is my results in university. I have somebody in Canada. I don't have somebody in Canada. I know French. I don't know French. By the time you fill that profile and you submit it, it's a digital profile. Then the profile goes into in a portal that has several millions of profiles, and then they will rank you in that profile. The software will do it, and then the software will pick you and say, this person, Olofa. Once they can assess you that Olofa, this person can go, then Canada will invite you. That's it. He said the CRS is a point-based system we use to assess and score your profile and rank it in the express entry pool. So it's like a raffle draw. It's just like a raffle draw. So by the time you submit all of your profile, then Canada will rank you and then call you. Then they will now invite you. You need to have score above the minimum point score for your round of invitation. Right? So essentially, once you have done that, then step 3, you get your documents ready. All of your documents. Number 4, you fill out your profile. Number 5, get an invitation and apply. So I've just basically explained what the express entry is all about. What is the express entry? Express entry has 3 routes. Canadian Express Entry Class, Federal Skilled Worker Program, then the third is Federal Skilled Trades Program. It is either of these 3 that is called express entry. If they call you for Canadian Express, if you meet the criteria for Canadian Experience Class, it's called express entry. If you meet criteria for Federal Skilled Worker Program, it's called express entry. If you meet criteria for Federal Skilled Trades Program, it's still called express entry. All of these 3 or any of these 3 is what you call express entry. How does it work? If you meet any of these criteria, you fill your CV, your profile. by the time you fill your profile, it goes into a ranking system. The system ranks you and says, this person can come into our country. Once they say that you can come to our country, then you are invited to apply. Once you are invited to apply, you submit your documents. Do you understand? And then once you are invited to apply, you apply. Then after you apply, they will now send you the application. You need to understand the application also has things to put into consideration. So when you apply, let's look at how to apply through Express Entry so that you can have an idea. Okay, suppose they eventually call me, how I apply? Now, this is all the information you need to know about how to apply. Number one, it says to apply for permanent residency, Express Entry. So Express Entry is a permanent residence gift of Canada. Once they take you for Express Entry, it's permanent residence. You are not bothered. It's not like 3 years or 5 years when you go and work and then 3 years. That's not the same. It's not the same thing, right? This one, once you get it like this, you are permanent residents of Canada, right? And so we'll get to, we'll quickly cover what are the things, what are the costs, how much does it cost? Now, let me say this right off the bat. There's nothing you are doing in Canada that you will not pay for, and it's very expensive. It's expensive because of our dollar. If our dollar is cheaper, then it would have been easier, right? I'll show you the fees, and I'm sure as you are looking at the screen now, you can already see the fees. So it's not cheap. Going to Canada is not cheap at all, and then you soon see now in a minute. But if you're a big boy, it really is not very expensive. Let's be real. It's not like it's a major deal. But if you don't have a lot of money, that's when it really looks like it's very expensive. So now, before you apply for permanent residence, note this: you can only apply for permanent residence through Express Entry if you've received an invitation to apply. Right? If they have not given you an invitation to apply, you can't apply for Express Entry. So if somebody says there's a way they are doing it, they are trying to get you into Canada, it's not Express Entry. I don't know what it's called. But if it is true Express Entry, there are 3 sides of Express Entry we have said: Canada Express Class, Federal Skill Water Plant, Federal Skill Trades. You understand? Either of those 3 is Express Entry. If they have not called you to apply, you cannot apply for it. So if they did not give you invitation and the person is helping you to work it, that person is not doing Express Entry for you. If you have not received any invitation to apply by your own personally, in your own personal email, it's not Express Entry, it's something else entirely. So now, once you have your invitation to apply, your Express Entry invitation to apply is valid for 60 days only. You should start filling out the online form right away so that you can get all the information and documents you need before your invitation expires. Follow these steps to fill out your online form. So you sign into the account, you click the link to apply for permanent residence under Express Entry. Then when filling out the form, please note this thing. So follow these steps to fill out the online form. Number 1, sign into your account. So you definitely would have created an account before then. Number 2, you click the link to apply for permanent residence under Express Entry. Then set 2, say when filling out the form. Number 1, make sure you submit all of the required documents. Number 2, all of your answers must be complete and true. Don't put lie there. Majority of the reasons why they deny people access to the country is because Nigerians too they lie. Niger too they lie. That's why they reject us a lot, because we are always telling lies. These videos are aimed at making sure we know what we are doing. All of this is free. Just watch and learn. If somebody is planning to lie to take you to Canada, is 2 ways. So if they reject you that thing, for the next 5 years you may not apply. They might even ban you forever. Secondly, however, if the person gets through with it, then maybe you can say you are lucky. But ideally, make sure all of your answers are complete and true. Can you see it? Complete and true. Number 3, make sure all the mandatory fields are completed or you won't be able to submit the application. I think that's pretty normal. then you can save your information on the form and go back as often as you need to. So that's basically all the things you need about express entry. Now, the question now is, what are the fees? The fees for express entry, you alone, is 1,365. 1,365. Then, including your spouse, she also will pay 1,365. Odelu. Then lastly, including a dependent child of $230. Let's put the three together. How much is it? So 1,365 plus 1,365 plus 230. You know then 2,960. If you times this by 790, so the application plus your wife plus you plus plus one child, if it's only one child you have, is 2,338,000. If you don't have a child, you remove that. If you are single, it's cheaper, right? So total you have 202,338,400 naira. If you are doing the application by yourself, this is what you will pay. But if you give this application to somebody to do for you, it's going to be more than this one. A whole lot more than this. So you need to put that into consideration. So that's basically it. And then one last thing I need to make you understand about the express entry is the chances are you will need your IELTS, especially if you are going for the Federal Skilled Workers Program. You will need your IELTS. So that this video will not be too long, I'm going to have to cut it short here. And I believe that I have done a bit of justice. We can't finish this, but these are several videos in a series, so eventually you will watch all of those series to learn. I will always advise that if you're planning to travel abroad, you should spend 1 year before that learning about how you plan to travel, all the countries possible that you might travel, and then you zero down on one. All this rushing to travel is the reason why scammers are seeing you as business, because everybody is in a hurry to travel abroad and all of that. I always advise that you have 1 year before you travel. Make sure you have at least 1 year ahead of you, so that you can plan your movements properly, learn properly, and then avoid scammers. And then lastly, everything about traveling can be done by you yourself. You don't have to get an agent to help you travel. Most of the times, that agent is going to want to collect money from you. And besides that, they don't even care whether you go there or not. In fact, they don't want you to go. They don't want you to go so that you can keep paying. But if you can learn properly, then you can go by yourself. This way is usually the cheapest way for you. Once you get it right from here, you don't have an issue at all. I hope this has helped someone. I'll keep releasing several videos in this series so that you can really learn what to do, how to plan yourself, what that means. The next video now, I'm going to cover the express entry itself, all three of them, and what are the criteria for each of these, so that you can learn about what to do. Thank you. Stay with the channel. I would advise that you subscribe to this channel. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, so that if I keep releasing content, you can always keep seeing it before anyone. By the time you hear anybody says this offer is up, just come to this channel. The chances are we will cover the truth or the lie in any of these things, so that you can be helped, so that you don't run into the hands of scammers. Till we meet again next time, have a lovely, wonderful day. Bye bye. See you.